Hey guys, what's up? Pimp Arthur here, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Smash Bros. Brawl. In the last episode, we had boss battles with Samus, with a little bit of difficulty because, well, we explained why, all the aerials and whatnot. Hey, weirdly, that's not nice. So in this episode, we're going to be continuing boss battles with Kirby, which is kind of interesting that I had Kirby next because I've been playing a lot of Kirby Air Ride recently. Which is pretty interesting game to play. That'll definitely be a Let's Play in the future. I've played it many times before and considered it many times before, but I think that'd be a good multiplayer one to have. You know, like maybe something after Mario Party 1 is done. But for those of you that don't know, Kirby's typically a platformer slash beat 'em up, and to have a racing game, you're like, I'm not so sure about this, man. It's probably not a good idea. And it actually works really well. It's a good game to play for both single and multiplayer. It works out really well, so definitely looking forward to playing that in the future at some point. But we're not here to talk about Kirby Air Ride. We're here to talk about Smash Bros. Brawl. And just some general tips and strategies for Kirby's, and watch out for what I consider to be, technically he's got two weaknesses, I suppose. Really, the big one is obviously his lightweight. Because since he's lightweight, it allows him to get KO'd at much lower percentages than we've seen from some of the other characters. In particular, you know, DK and Link, the heavyweights have, you know, they can get up to 80% and get hit by a medium strength attack and they'll be okay. If Kirby gets up to around 50, you're gonna have to start watching out for that because moderately strong stuff will probably kill you. So you just have to watch out for things like that. The other, not really a flaw, but just something to keep in mind is that Kirby also does not have a projectile. Generally speaking, what he would do for a projectile is he would either eat something and spit it out, and that would be the projectile, or he could eat a player and copy their abilities. So you could get Link's bow and arrow, Mario's fireball, Samus's charge shot, and those are all projectiles. Not all the characters' standard B moves are projectiles, like Marth's shield breaker, DK's, you know, the punch that he can do. So not all of them are projectiles, but generally speaking, that will grant you a projectile. And that's kind of Kirby's way of getting around that, but since you can't eat the bosses, obviously that's not a viable option. So you do have to watch out for the fact you're not going to have any projectiles to use here. Fortunately, you are going to have some advantages in this fight, the main one being the one that I've been using for the last several fights here, using the hammer that he has. This is his side B move, and as you can see, it does quite a bit of damage per hit. On the ground like this, you're only going to get one hit off. If you do it while you're in the air, you actually get to hit them twice, assuming you connect both times. Yeah, that was a good shot right there. And so doing that enables you to, while you do have to be a little bit careful with it, it will enable high amounts of damage fairly quickly. So definitely something to use. Since Kirby has multiple jumps, it also works well in aerials. His Fury Cutter up B, you'll probably not be using that much unless you just need a very weak attack to kill them and you need one quickly. I would not recommend it for recovery either, because obviously I don't recommend up B, and Kirby has plenty of extra jumps to the point that if you don't get killed by it, you can probably recover with just your normal jumps unless you've used them all up before you got hit. Another good move that he has is the Stone ability, which you saw right there, which actually did not work on the Driller. Usually it does, huh? Now, what Stone does is it functions as one of two ways. Generally, what you'll see in competitive gameplay is people going up into the air like this and dropping down on usually a group of opponents with it in order to damage them, and that does work on the bosses, as you just saw on Master Hand. It does work. That's not what I'd recommend using Stone for. I would recommend using Stone as kind of your invincibility. If you're really bad at air dodging or your shield's getting low and you don't want it to break, because obviously that would leave you stunned and you'd be in big trouble then, you can use the Stone ability, and I was kind of hoping the shield would work there, but of course it didn't. You can use the Stone ability to, generally, not always, a pretty good amount of the time it will grant you the ability to avoid taking damage for a short amount of time. And so in doing that, let's see if I can get him to do that again. You can get hit by attacks and it will not even damage you. Sometimes it might knock you out of Stone, but you won't get damaged, and then sometimes it will not block it. For example, Taboo's Red Rings will not get blocked, Porky's Laser will not get blocked. So there are, you know, certain instances where it doesn't work as much as you'd want it to, but there's not really much you can do about it. So you just kind of have to know what works and what doesn't. Generally, this, like, The physical attacks will usually, not always, but it's usually the physical attacks that will, Stone will block, and it's the special stuff, like projectiles and whatnot, that it won't block. And there we go. I'd recommend on the PD Piranha fight, by the way, that you stay in the air for the most part. If you're going to use the hammer and go for him, don't go for one of the cages, because even though he's going to take less damage, it's a lot easier to play in the air than it is on the ground, because on the ground he can definitely get you. I probably should have used a heart container right here, but I didn't, so oh well. Don't do that. Remember, Swallow doesn't do any damage, so don't ever use the standard B. There's literally no reason to use it now. There's a good example right there. So once again, if you don't feel confident in your air dodging, anything like that, that's what I would recommend using it for. Another good thing about Kirby is since he's got the multiple jump, if you want to avoid something like the Driller just by simply going off the side of the, yeah, there's a good example of Fury Cutter. If you want to avoid it by going just off the side of the stage and waiting for him to finish it, you can do that. There's a good example of actually using Fury Cutter just for the sole fact that I need something quick, and he didn't have a lot of health left. I've got all 3 heart containers. I've beaten 3, 6, 7. He is 8. Number 9 is Porky. Number 9 is Porky, so I'm going to go ahead and use this. Because there's no reason not to now. I can just use one after every boss fight, and I should be okay unless I miscounted. Which is entirely possible, but either way, I would have used one against Dulon, because Dulon is one of the harder ones to beat. I thought I dodged that. I took 6 out of it, so that's not too bad. Oops. Right when I thought I was low enough to avoid the rocket, but apparently I hit one with the hammer and it blew up. Did not mean to do that, but oh well. Too late now. 3, 6, 7, 8. This will be 9, so yes, I did count correctly. Porky has an interesting strategy to actually defeating him. And I'll explain that whenever I actually get the chance here. Oh, no, Laser's not going to be able to be blocked. Is if you drop on him correctly with the stone, you can actually hit him multiple times. Let's see if I can get a good example here. Yeah. That kind of breaks it. FYI, that's not what I was referring to at all. I don't know how that happened. I was holding down, that might be what it is, so I was just sliding back and forth, because if you use stone while you're on a platform that's, you know, it's not flat, you know, it's an angled platform, kind of like, let's see if I can get it right here. You will slide a little bit, so that's probably what it was. That's not what I was trying to show off at all. So it's kind of cool that it did that. I was not expecting that to happen. I don't think I get to him fast enough there. Yeah, I don't have a projectile, so unfortunately I just gotta sit back and let him do his thing here. I got him once. I'm gonna have to play a little bit more careful with Kirby here, because once again, lightweight, so you'll probably see me focusing on dodging a lot more than anything here. I thought I missed that first one for a minute, did it too early, but now I'm good. That probably could have been blocked with stone. I was trying to land on him to do damage, but it didn't work. I'm going to stay way back here, because the likelihood of one actually making it all the way across the stage at that angle is very low. Alright. Kind of taking care not to fall off the stage right there by accident. 3, 4. Oops, that's not the attack I meant to do. Oh, gosh, I'm lucky you didn't get me right there. Got it. Well, I'm glad I actually get to keep that run. I messed up the first one, and I actually came back to this a couple days later, so I'm glad I got to keep that run, because the thing with Porky was really weird. I was not expecting that to happen. So yeah, if that happens to you, now you know why it did, I guess. So next time on Let's Play Super Smash Bros. Brawl, we're going to be continuing with Fox. I'm actually very excited to show off all what his reflector can do, because it can really break some of the boss fights. So I will see you for that next time. Later.